So, all right. So officially welcome to our Yin practice today. And I would like to focus on the heart today. And the reason I like to focus on the heart today is simply because I feel this is the place that we can turn to over and over again to kind of center ourselves. You know, I talk a lot about the core and the heart as like the two centers, but I want to start also with a beautiful heart meditation. And today really let the focus be the heart. And the heart is, you know, the place we turn to when we kind of also need to find our own inner wisdom. And there's a really beautiful connection between the breath, the heart, and the mind. And it's a beautiful reminder also how kind of everything is really set up so intelligent and so perfectly that we don't even need to do super complicated practices in order to have a really effective shift in our system. And so Yin Yoga is very much about softening, surrendering, allowing, receiving, which are all like qualities of the heart to me as well, because when we're like protecting the heart too much, or when we get too challenged, we kind of close off the heart and we kind of get hard and we get like cranky and more defensive. And so it's a beautiful reminder always to get back to these qualities of softening and surrendering and also receiving, because sometimes I find it's easier to give and to be there for other people. Maybe also, especially now, you're really there for your family, for your friends, you show up. And it's much harder maybe to ask for help or to even receive support and help from your friends. So all these are kind of thoughts about the heart and why we're doing a practice for the heart today. So let's start with a heart meditation and take whatever you need to find a comfortable seat, and then close the eyes and take the next few moments to just arrive in your space. So maybe rock a little bit back and forth until you feel really your sit bones connecting to the floor. And at the same time, keep the curves in your spine, so you're not trying to change anything about the natural curve of your spine. But there's also an energy as if somebody has a string attached to the crown of your head and is lifting you up. So there's a sense of lengthening. Your hands can rest either in your lap or onto your thighs. And then with the eyes closed, just start to consciously soften as best as you can. Start with your forehead so that there are no wrinkles on your forehead. And let the eyes roll back into the sockets. And soften your cheeks, your jaw. Let your lips open if they want to, and maybe even lift the corners of your mouth into a little smile. And roll the shoulders all the way up towards your ears. Take them back and let the shoulder blades melt down on your back. And gently draw the tips of the shoulder blades towards each other. It's already creating a nice opening space in the heart. And so when we talk about the heart as the spiritual heart, it's a little bit more centered than your physical heart. So when you visualize the heart now, don't focus on your physical heart, but rather maybe 3 inches over to the middle, right behind your sternum, your breastbone. And take a few moments now to just feel your breath coming in and going out softly. And again, the practice of Yin is to cultivate softness, those qualities of intuition, intuitive reception, acceptance. Now I'd like you, as you inhale, to feel the breath coming in through the nose and going all the way down, connecting your sit bones down into the floor. And as you exhale, feel the breath going back up and lengthening and lifting up through the crown of the head. And do that a couple rounds. And so there's a little bit of guidance, but there's no forced breathing. So you're just kind of like guiding the breath by watching it. Inhaling down, feeling your connection to the earth, and exhaling, feeling your head rising up, the crown of the head lifting, and the shoulders melting away from the ears. Now become aware of your heart space behind your breastbone, center of your chest. And as you inhale now, very gently inhale through your nose, feel the breath go crossing over the bridge of the nose, and then feel the inhale going down into the heart center. And then as you exhale, feel the breath exhaling from the heart center all the way up through the crown of the head. Let's do that again. Inhaling, breath crossing over the bridge of the nose, going down into the heart space. And on the exhale, from the heart space, reaching up through the crown of the head, out. And let's do this now with a count of 4. And then I'd like you to hold the breath, if you can, for a count of 4 in the heart space before you're exhaling. And I'll talk us through. If you need to modify the count, if it's too much, you can, of course, adjust it. So we're inhaling on 4, 3, 2, 1 into the heart, and then we hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1 through the crown of the head. And again, inhaling. Hold it in the heart. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release up through the crown of the head. Do a couple more rounds in your own breath. We're inhaling, crossing over the bridge of the nose, down into the heart. Holding in the heart for a count of 4. Exhaling through the crown of the head for a count of 4. As you inhale into the heart, really feel the heart space expanding. And as you exhale, let the shoulders release and lift up through the crown of the head. Okay, last round, inhaling, holding, and exhaling. And then just come back to your natural breath and feel the effect of this meditation, this breathing. Maybe you already feel a little bit more centered in your heart, and then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe touch your thumbs to the center of your chest. And we'll start with one soft chant of Om, the Yin version of Om. Nice big breath in. Om. And then slowly release, gently open your eyes. So this is a beautiful practice, very simple, very profound, that you can do any time that you feel, wow, I need to like maybe find an answer to a question, you know, and usually you have to do it much longer. You have to do it between 10 and 20 minutes to really, really get into the heart space. But I just wanted to introduce you to this technique for today. So our first yin pose is also going to be a very gentle heart opener. And I'd like you to have your towel or your blanket underneath the middle back. So not the shoulder blades, because you want to basically lie on it and be able to have the shoulder blades on the floor. So you might have to adjust a little bit. Your legs can be straight and you can just rest your arms next to your body and you feel a gentle lift behind your ribs mostly. So shoulder blades are on the floor. Now your legs can be long, or you can bring the soles of the feet together if you feel that's in your practice, in your range of motion today. And you could place even your blocks underneath your thighs for support. And take the first minute or so to arrive in this pose. I'll have to put the timer. And just enjoy focusing on the breath. And notice if there are any parts of your breath feeling restricted, any areas. And again, if that happens, don't worry about it. Just notice and make adjustments if you need to. I'm going to stay seated to see if anybody comes in late. Good. And again, it's all about the breath and really using the power of the breath to shift your experience if you want to, because the only thing we can ever control is really our own response to whatever life presents us. And to really become present over and over again. Our ordinary mind has about 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. And 50 to 70% of this time we are not present. And if you ask yourself, where are we? We're either worrying about the future, or we're replaying the past, or we're judging others or ourselves. And so if we're not even aware that this is happening, we cannot shift it. So mindfulness practices is really all about creating that awareness. And if you're like me, you might not be the most patient person, and this practice is really beautiful because it is also really cultivating patience with yourself. We have about 1 more minute here. Breathe deeply. And all these practices have the intention that we are reacting more skillfully to life. And sometimes that means we have to lose our mind and come to our senses. And the senses is whatever is felt in the body, or what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you see. So maybe use that in your yin poses when you close the eyes to really connect with your senses. What do you feel? Where do you feel sensation in your body? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? And what do you taste? Take your last 3 breaths here. If you have your knees falling out to the side, you can gently bring your knees back together and walk your feet out to the edges of the mat for a moment. And then everybody roll over onto your side, whichever one you like, and come onto your mat, pushing the blanket out to the sides, and come onto your hands and knees. Okay. Take a moment here with a neutral spine to just feel the effect of the pose we just did. Maybe a sense of awareness behind your ribs, and then start to gently do a couple of cat-cow. So just arching and rounding, or doing any kind of movement that feels really nice right now. So let your body guide you. And this is what we're doing too with Yin. We're really tapping into our own guidance, our own wisdom. Good. All right. So for the next pose, we're coming into Anahatasana, but in the Yin version. So you're going to bring your arms forward and you're going to bring your arms down if you need to. And rest your forehead onto the head and just start melting your heart towards the floor. Now, we're not going to hold this for 5 minutes because it can be intense. To see how that feels on your shoulders. If it's too much, you can also always lean back a little bit more. It makes it a little easier if you stick your butt back more. Be really aware today of your arms and shoulders. If you feel any kind of sharp pain, it's a clear sign that you're not ready for the pose. And then please come out of the pose. And the same if your arms fall asleep. There's always ways to modify, or you can just do another Yin pose that you know. With your eyes closed, again, coming back to what do I feel? What do I see? Or hear or smell? Sensations. Softening, breathing. And we do another 1.5 minutes here. So really sinking deeper. The meridians for the heart and the lungs are all along the inside of the arms and shoulders. So that's also, we call it the wings of the heart. So you can also visualize those beautiful lines of energy as you work with your breath. Okay, last minute. Big breath. And you'll notice some of these poses will be felt really intensely, and some of the poses you might think not much is happening, but don't be fooled by yin, because when you feel that there's not much happening, just see if breathing deeper will have an effect and change it for you. Good, last 3 breaths here. And then slowly walk your hands back and come back into tabletop with your shoulders above your wrists. And once again, inhale to arch, exhale to round. Do this a couple times. Good. Now walk your hands forward and come onto your belly. And we're coming into Sphinx pose. So this is not so much working with the heart and the lungs. This is more working the stomach and the spleen. But you still want to melt the heart and make sure that you let your feet fall out to the side. You know, you can wiggle your hips a little bit side to side and keep your head lifted. So looking down is not such a good option because it can cause tension into your chest, into your neck. If you feel this is too much, you could also place something underneath your sternum or your ribs for support. This is called Sphinx pose. I recommend keeping your head lifted and gazing forward. And then really melting the heart. Even if you have a feeling like you're dropping your chest. Mild compression is felt in the lower back. If it is too intense for you, then please back off. Those of you who might be really very back bendy and feel this is too little, you could find your way into seal pose, like pressing down into the hands, straightening the arms, and then melting the heart. And this can be for some of us too much. For me, it's a bit too much today. So then if it's too much, you come back to Sphinx pose. And if it's okay, you stay with your arms straight in seal pose. Now breathe deeply. You can always come back to breathing into the heart space like we did at the opening meditation. And really remember to soften. Face soft. And notice what type of thoughts are showing up. Are they repetitive? Are they from the past, from the future? Or are they judging yourself or judging others? See if you can notice a certain pattern here or habit. Thirty more seconds. My back is really sensitive today, so I'm really taking it easy. And this is the reason why we practice too. It's like you want to listen to your body. Don't just listen to me. Your body knows. And any discomfort or pain is nothing that we just shush away. It's something to respect and work with. Last 3 breaths. Good. And then slowly come down. Try not to change anything about the posture. Just lie on your belly. Just put your head onto your hands and take a couple of nice deep breaths into your lower back and into the kidney areas. And again, just feeling whatever is present. And then bend the knees, bring them out to the side and start to swing your legs a little bit side to side. And you can do that a little bit longer, or if you like, you can also just let the feet rest together and let the heels kind of drop towards your buttocks. Are you still breathing? Good. And then from here, release your legs. And back onto your arms. Now bring your left hand forward. Slide your right arm underneath. Keep your right shoulder in line with your right hip. Bring your forehead to the floor. If it feels too far away the floor, use your towel or your block to rest your forehead. And then start walking your left fingertips forward. Now, if you feel there's not really much happening in your right shoulder, you can tuck your toes and kind of rock yourself a little bit more forward. And this will intensify the stretch. And we're just going to stay here, keep walking your left hand forward and breathing into the right side. So the stretch is on the outer right arm. And again, if there's any pain, discomfort, back up. This is a really beautiful release for the arm. And again, your job is just to breathe, to soften, to feel. Good. 30 more seconds. Very, very nice. 3 more breaths here. To come out of the pose, be very mindful and careful. Press your left hand, bring it a little bit back. Press your left hand into the floor. Slide your right arm out. And for a moment, just come to rest on your left cheek. Let both palms face up, arms resting next to your body so your right shoulder can release, and just feel the release of your right shoulder. When you feel ready for the other side, slide your right arm forward, press into the hand, you can lift your chest, slide your left arm underneath, palm can be facing up, forehead goes down. If you feel this is great, stay here. If you need more, tuck your toes and kind of rock yourself 1 more inch forward. And this will intensify the stretch, and see if you can relax your neck. by resting your head on something. You know, worst case, you could also like use your right hand if you don't have a pillow, but you want to actually keep walking your right hand forward, and this will make the stretch a little deeper. So this side is also for me more intense, so that's why my head is much higher from the floor. But it's a really beautiful stretch. I love it. Keep breathing, visualizing energy flowing through all the lines in your body. Good. Last 30 seconds. Breathing. Good. And then take 3 more breaths here. And then pressing into your right hand to slide the left arm out. Just make a pillow with your hands. Rest your head. Or if it feels more comfortable for a moment, rest on your right cheek. And wiggle your hips. Feel the shoulders releasing. Good, and we add another shoulder stretch right there. Take your arms out like a T. Also have a pillow or a block handy. You might need it underneath your head. Now you're gonna reach through your right fingertips and you're gonna start walking your hand away and coming onto the right cheek or pillow. Left knee is bent, the left foot comes behind. And then your left arm is just resting behind your back. Breathing here. Now you feel the stretch more at the front of your shoulder and the front of your chest. Breathe deeply here. And make sure that your neck is not in any way tense, that it feels supported. And this is also not a 5-minute pose, so no worries. Do the best you can. Hmm. 30 more seconds. So you deepen the pose by breathing deeper. So, and by breathing consciously. So again, always coming back to what am I feeling? What is felt in the body? What do you sense? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? And if we cultivate this mindfulness in our yin practice, it's so much easier to call on it when we have a challenging situation, and we might not be rolling out the yoga mat doing yin to remember, but we remember, oh, wait a minute, this is like what I can do right now. My mind is taking me on whatever cycle, circle, spiral, but I can remember to like come back to this moment, lose my mind, come back to my senses. What do I feel in my body? Where do I feel my breath? Do I feel tingling in my fingers? Do I feel the taste in my mouth? What do I smell? And this is a super simple and beautiful tool. Now take another big breath in. As you exhale, release the pose, come back onto your belly. Make again a pillow with your hands, just resting your forehead. And then when you feel ready for the other side, bring your arms into a T again. Your palms are facing down. There's a line from your shoulder to the middle finger. If anything, you can bring the fingers a little bit more up towards 10 o'clock. You don't want to bring them further down. So it's either in one line or a little bit up. Then start walking your left hand away from you. Roll onto the outer edge of your body, the left edge of the body. Bend the right knee and step the right foot behind. And then from here, bring your right arm behind your back. And just let it rest behind your back. And breathe. Listen, breathe. Becoming aware of your mind patterns, stories, and the power to shift. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So you have the power to shift your own experience. Last couple of breaths on this side. Good, and then with your next inhale, release. Roll back onto your belly. Place your hands next to your chest and then push back into a child's pose. This time, bring your knees together so your back is nice and round. Let your head rest and let the shoulders drop. Kind of the draping around your thighs, and you can breathe into the back of your heart space. A couple of really nice, deep, deep, deep breaths. And then roll yourself all the way up from here. Roll over to one side and sit. Turn around this way. Good. And then actually roll onto your back. Good. So now gently move your knees a little bit side to side to release any tension although we haven't worked that much with the lower back yet. So, but also feel a nice release in the chest. Place your feet underneath your knees. Stretch your arms so your middle finger is touching to your heels. And then inhale, float your hips up. Exhale, roll yourself back down. Nice and easy. Inhale, tucking your tailbone, floating the hips up. Exhaling down. This time we're just moving the right arm. So inhale, float the hips up. Move your right arm over your head. Keep your arm there, reaching through the fingers. Slowly roll yourself back down and feel a stretch in the shoulder and a nice release. And then inhale, float your hips back up. And exhale, bring your right arm and your hips back down. One more time on the right side. Inhale, float the hips and the right arm up. Arm goes over your head and keeps reaching as you exhale and lower the hips down. You might feel a nice stretch, I hope. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, release your right arm and the hips down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, float your left arm and the hips up. Keep your arms reaching over your head and then slowly lower down. Feel that nice side stretch. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips up, and exhale, release down your left arm as well. Last time, left side. Inhale to come up. Keep the arm overhead, reaching, lower your hips slowly back down. Inhale, press into the feet to lift up. Exhale to release. Beautiful. Bring the knees to your chest and just rock a little bit back and forth. Good. Hands onto the knees, start to make circles, moving the knees away from each other. And then make circles, moving the knees towards each other. Good. Now take the arms out to the side. Inhale. As you exhale, let your legs fall over to the left. And see if you can straighten a leg. And take your left hand to the outside of the right shin. And then take your right arm up and over. So really try to flex the feet and then release. See if that is okay for you with the legs straight. If not, you can do the twist with the knees bent. You can put a pillow in between, which always feels super nice. So find your way, but it's a nice way to do it with the legs straight, and you can even kind of press with your hand a little bit away from you. Just breathing, maybe looking up, maybe looking over your right shoulder if that's okay. Your awareness is in the right chest because that's what's stretching again, and in your spine because this is a twist. So really nice deep breath. You also feel the twist in your belly, and you can like really think of like, okay, how can I create more space in the belly for a deeper breath? Eyes closed, completely soft here. And when we talk about mindset shifting, another way or another thought pattern is that we are actually worrying or even catastrophizing. We're always thinking about what if, and we're already knowing the outcome of a situation that's not even here yet. I'm very good at that. And we imagine the worst possible outcome, and we just keep telling ourselves all the story of like, what if this and this is going to happen? What if over and over and over again we play that in our head? And the solution or the tool is the same. We come from what if to what is. If you catch yourself worrying, catastrophizing, just come back to, okay, what is present right now? Do I feel a tingling in my hands? Do I feel the breath going in through my nostrils? Do I feel my feet touching the earth? And creating that connection is a beautiful way to shift your mindset. "30 more seconds here, breathing deeply. Maybe take a nice big breath in and exhale through the mouth. My cat clearly loves Yin Yoga. He's like all legs up in the air, so cute. Good. Very slowly bend the knees and lift yourself back up to the middle. Hug the knees into your chest and just rock a little bit back and forth. Or windshield wiper, whatever you feel is best for your back right now. And then when you feel ready for the other side, once again, let the legs fall over to the right now and see if you can straighten the legs. And if that is available to you, and if it's not, then bend the knees. If you need any support underneath or between the knees, use a pillow or your rolled up blanket. Make it accessible for you. If your body, has to fight or kind of, is stressed out too much, you'll never be able to really release and surrender into the pose. So we're not working muscles in Yin, we're working connective tissue with stretching. We're expanding range of motion by deep breathing. Here's another tool for shifting your mindset. If your mindset is very much putting yourself down, or if you're just feeling in general, you're like on this downward spiral, think empowering thoughts. Now, what are empowering thoughts? Empowering thoughts are just thoughts like, okay, how would I love to show up right now in this situation? How would I love to show up in my life? How would I love to respond to a certain situation? And this kind of brings you in touch with your values. And it's a way of expressing or connecting with the values. And this is also a beautiful way, again, to, connect to your heart, finding a strong center. Last 30 seconds. Maybe find the deepest breath of today's practice here. Maybe reach a little bit more through your arm. So here we have again this beautiful line of the heart and lung meridian. And then with your next breath, bend the knees. Gently bring your knees back to the middle. Hug them into your chest. And rock a little bit back and forth. And then use a little bit of momentum, a little bit of yang to come up to seated. And we're going to come into caterpillar pose. And so it's actually nice to sit on something to elevate your seat. Hey, Junie, are you having a good time, huh? Good. And then take your blocks or whatever you have, and we're going to do a forward fold. And forward folds to me are super nourishing because it's really like we're turning inward towards ourselves. And you can use your blocks in any way feels good. You can have your legs smaller together or a little wider, but don't go wider than your mat because then it's a different pose. And just rest your head in any way that feels good. And here we stay for 5 minutes. So really make sure you have your head supported. You let your arms hang and you just breathe into the back of the heart. If it's not working for you like this, another beautiful way is to just place your head into your hands. Maybe also if you don't have two blocks, so this is a nice way to do it as well. Make sure your legs fall out to the side. There's no holding anywhere. Eyes are closed, face is soft. And when we do it yin style, then the back can be a little bit round. It's not a problem, but you still feel like you want to lead forward from the heart, and the face is completely soft. And again, just become aware of what is, the kind of thoughts. Maybe there's a little bit more sense of calm, or it's a little easier to surrender into this last pose. Just notice where you're at. And there's a saying, when you nourish, you flourish. So especially during these times, even more so, really honor yourself for taking this time to practice. And really think of the things that are like fundamental for you in your life. I think this is a time that we all become very much aware of what we need, really. And it can be so simple as, you know, going out into nature, or calling a friend, having a good conversation with a friend, sharing, or taking a hot bath, or whatever it is for you. But this is a beautiful time to really think of ways you can flourish and really make it a project. So really try to make every day time for one thing at least that makes you flourish. Because everything else will flourish when you do. It's something you radiate out. It's something you inspire other people with. And it's just simply to recharge your batteries. We have about 1 more minute here. And then take your last 3 breaths here. Maybe exhaling through the mouth. And then very, very slowly come all the way back up and all the way down onto your back. Take a moment first to just not move at all. Just lie on your back and again, become aware of what is. Even if you have a little tension in your back or whatever is going on for you, just feel it. Breathe into it. And then very slowly bend your knees, walk your feet closer. Hug the knees into your chest one more time. And I'd like to do one more short pose, just to like reset the back. If you have a block, take your block. If it's a blanket or a pillow, it's a bit softer, but it's also okay. And place it underneath your sacrum. That's the triangular shaped bone at the end of your spine. And then from here, lift your legs up and really feel that your back is releasing onto the block. If you have a block, it might feel really nice because the edge of the block might be pressing and massaging your lower back. And if you're on a blanket, that's fine too. You can also do it against the wall because the idea mainly is to really release the weight and release the back of your legs, to release the lower back. So just breathing here. Good. And then very slowly from here, begin to bend the knees, place your feet back down, lift up to take out the block, place your back on the floor, and just gently move your knees side to side. If you feel there's anything else you need to do before Shavasana, feel free to do so. Also, a great idea is to place a blanket underneath your knees because it will help to release the lower back and then just come into Shavasana, resting arms next to your body, face completely soft, and roll your head one more time, left and right, right and left. Take a nice big breath in, exhale through the mouth. Enjoy. And slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Gently move your fingers, move your toes. And stretch your arms over your head, giving yourself a good long stretch. Bend your knees. Hug them into your chest. And ever so softly rock a little bit side to side and then come to rest on your left side, your yin side. And give yourself time. There's absolutely no rush. And then when you feel ready, keep the eyes closed, but find your way back up into a nice, comfortable seat. And let's sit here together for just a few more moments. Again, coming back to softening, noticing anything that may have shifted in your energy from this practice. And once again, coming back to the center of your chest, your heart, and just feeling the breath moving into the heart space and out from the heart to the crown of the head. And as you inhale, use the word trust as a mantra. And just do that a couple of times. So you're inhaling trust. Inhaling trust. Exhaling through the crown of the head one last time. Beautiful. And so being centered in your heart just allows you more to trust. And the same when you feel more of a softness in your heart. When we're harsh and contracted in the heart, we're not really trusting anybody and not even ourselves most of the time. So it goes both ways. We soften to trust, and we trust to really soften into the heart. All right, so please take your hands together in front of your heart one last time. Let your thumbs touch to your heart. Take a moment of gratitude to yourself for showing up today on your mat for the practice. And let's close and seal with one soft chant of Om. Om. Thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you so much for practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Namaste. All right.